this is probably not a general job that people would think of, but this is a very important job. It's you know, a lot of folks think of truck driving and airplanes, and without the waterways, without the people working on these boats, you have a lot of that stuff that you're still not gonna get, period, ever. Because this is the only way to get it.
Anywhere from rock to scrap, corn, salt, caustic soda, wheat, just anything. Just anything they can think of to put in a barge to take up the river. Probably costs less than it does, you know, trucking all the diesel in the dump trucks, and we haul more in bulk, you know, from barge than you can a dump truck, and you can hold more of it and a whole lot more barges. So, you know, if you got 6 barges, you probably got 300 or 400, 500 times more than you can a dump truck. And it keeps traffic off the interstate. Just wake up, the captain gets up at just whatever, if he can sleep 3 o'clock in the morning, be on watch by 6, and, you know, make sure that you instruct all the guys, you know, what they're gonna do, cleaning the boat, working the docks, you know, where we're going, how many barges we're picking up, you know, build and tow.
So today we have 2 empty barges that have to, I mean, all our barges going to Charleston, but there's 2 places there right next to each other. One of them is a salt dock, so self-explanatory. We're bringing them a load of salt to unload, and then another one is a chemical place. So we're bringing them 2 empties to load, and then we're taking them 1 load that they have to empty. We carry, like, you know, scrap metal out of Knoxville. We got stuff that'll eventually make its way plumb to the Gulf, you know, things like that. I don't know, I think it's crazy how, where all that stuff gets made off to, and then I'm sure it ends up halfway across the world somewhere, you know.
Well, I just fell in love with towboating, and you know, I worked on a farm before it in Alabama, a chicken farm. Got tired of there, so I figured, you know, you make more money on towboating. So I started as a cook, and I cooked the deckhand, and I cooked deckhand and the steersman, and I figured that wasn't for me. I was wanting to go to the pilot house. So to the pilot house, you know, I went, I set my mind to it.
I believe, you know, the guys before me paved the way for me, you know, old towboat captains. Trevor is a coming up mate just like me. I'm a new pilot. I'm still learning. He's a new mate. He's still learning. And even though we have so many years here, the industry, you're always learning something. You know what I mean? The weather changes. Just the timing's not right, and you got to redo your knowledge of the way things go. So, you know, but the crew, I think we got a good crew, you know. All of them's newbies, but as long as they got a strong back and a good will to work, I think we can manage.
You know, I feel like I am a hard worker, and it's not so much as being a teacher as it is listening and learning for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like because I'm a good learner, maybe that's what makes me a good teacher. We got Big Dave. He's worked for other towboating companies. He's got 10 years experience. You know, then we got Jason. He's a good dude. He's coming along. You know, he's not been here long, but he's picking it up.
It's hard work. It takes time to learn the stuff. Some people are fast learners. I've been blessed to be a fast learner. Some people it takes more time. Have I scratched the surface on the stuff that I need to know? Not even close.
My 2 boys were on this boat before I got on it. They spent a couple years on this boat, out there on tow, doing what Trevor and the other guys do. And I was ready to get on the water and came to be with them.
It's the first time she's ever cooked on a boat either. You know, I mean, the first time, she's doing good. It ain't nothing like cooking at home, you know, for 2 or 3 kids. You got, you know, 4 deckhands, a captain, a relief captain, a pilot, you know, and then the cook. So you gotta learn to cook more, you know, for the whole crew instead of just 2 or 3. So she's getting the hang of it. I tell you what, I'm bigger than you are. I can grab a hold to all of them if you can get that OL barge out there.
Some days are easy, but there's a lot of long days too. Like, there's a lot of long days. Because we have our single barge locks, you know, we get 12 to 15, you know, that's every bit of 12 to 15 hours locking barges through, having to, you know, we have to break every individual barge apart to get it through the lock. So, I mean, those make for incredibly long days. Essentially, when you lock, you know, an actual lock's what it's called. So there's different water levels at the dam. Essentially, what the lock does is allow us to come in and get to that. It'll raise us into that different water pool, so we can get up or down the river as needed.
I mean, you know, if it rains, you know, it's 10, 12, 15 foot high, you know, we'll shut down. If it gets so high here, they won't let you lock. So it's hard to navigate through, you know, all the strong current. You know, the dams keep the current down, you know, that way you can navigate it good. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, depending on how hard it rains.
Yeah, I feel like I help, you know, the economy out and the country out, just delivering product to many, many people, you know, wheat, corn, scrap.
They gotta have it. If not, you know, all these other big businesses like Olin, they can't work without salt. You know, all these farmers can't do without fertilizer. You know, the cattle can't go without corn. The bread companies can't do without the wheat. I mean, you know, it's pretty important, I guess.
I gotta get heavy on the sails. One wide. It's cool just to see how many other jobs there are that my job affect, you know, because you got to have crane operators to offload the material. You've got people that have to build the barges. You've got people to build the boats. I mean, now we have jobs. You know, we have to have mechanics come repair things like that. I've realized it's a lot bigger than what people think it is. You know.
You know, the price of the fuel went up. You know, you had to order it like a week ahead of time to when now, you know, you can order it one day and get it the next. But I mean, we hold 22,000 gallons of fuel and make 2 runs to Knoxville and back, and you know, we put 8,000 gallons. We use 8,000 gallons in 2 weeks. You know, versus hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dump trucks. You know, you save a whole bunch of money.
It's a revolving door, and that's sad. But it's actually like such a great community. My kids are grown, almost all of them. I have a daughter who's almost grown. I have 2 boys who are grown. They left home, and you know, I'm alone. So being on a boat keeps you from being alone all the time.
Every one of them, you live on a boat 14 days a month. You're just at home 7 days a month. So I mean, you got to adapt. You know, you coming from home to moving on you spend more time on the boat, you know, with your boat family than you do at home with your real family. There's a whole lot of phone calls to the boat. You know, it's like your first home, and your real home's like your second home.
That's the toughest challenge, just taking that step to be gone for, you know, so long. We all have kids on here, we have families. I got 2 7-year-old twins, and a wife that I've been married to for 20 years. So yeah, it's definitely hard. Like, I could go home today and not bat an eye.
I think people misunderstand the boat life. It's not so much that they might not understand the industry part of it, it's the lifestyle of it, because it is a lifestyle. This is not for the faint of heart, but it also can give you a really good sense of peace of mind being out here. You have to be built for this lifestyle, but I think if you are built for it, you can have a really bright future here.
Towboating's a good future, you know, if you stay in it. And, you know, there's always job openings for deckhands. Towboating, you know, being on the river, being gone, it pays good. How often can you wake up of a morning and tell people that you drive a towboat for a living, that you drive a tow, you know, that's longer than 5 football fields long, you know, from Chattanooga to Knoxville. You know, it's pretty impressive, I think.